Chassis, engine, suspension. Parting is a sweet sorrow. Not.
Banks Built, protected by AMSOIL, with support from Roadster Shop and Nitto.
Guys, we're finally getting our hands dirty. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a moment. Let's go.
Okay, step one, we're gonna start with the bed. The cab's gonna be a little harder, I think, so I think we should work our way into this and get the bed off, which probably hasn't been removed in 46-ish years from the original.
Impossible to know.
Some of these bolts could be rusted, but we've got to remove, looks like the original wood is bolted down, so we got to get all these bolts out, pull off the wood, and then from what I found, in theory, there should be 4 bolts either side, and then the harness for the rear taillights. So if we can get all 8 bolts off, unplug that harness, we should be able to lift it straight up, but that's a lot easier said than done. We've got saddle tanks sitting right up underneath where these mounts are, so those might have to come off first.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, that might be our first plan of attack then.
Oh, look at that. There's something living in there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, rat droppings in there. All right. Good times.
So we've got 2 days.
Yeah, today and tomorrow, because we have to be back at work on Monday.
I said we get started.
All right.
So it looks like these bolts for the wood are sandwiched to these 2x4s. I'll be under here with these nuts while Jay's hitting the bolts from the top.
All right, which one next?
Right here.
Oh, no.
And there's more.
Oh, there's more. That's the original, boys.
Yikes.
Wow, that's wild.
So we got what I thought was the original wood out, and I knew the bolts looked a little too good to be true. This makes more sense. This makes a lot more sense. Maybe I should have worn gloves. There could be some
diseases.
Some 1960 diseases in here. Boom, boom.
Okay.
Same thing up there. Boom, boom. I got a fire extinguisher within running distance. Yep.
You're fine. Warning, kids, you may see butt crack.
Oh, there's something in this.
Shit.
Yeah, watch what you step on here. So Jay, there are 2 more mounting points underneath.
It smells like pot. Doesn't it? Oh, it's burnt leaves.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Burnt leaves.
There's an exhaust, or what used to be an exhaust rubber isolator here. I gotta be careful.
See where the corner's hitting the exhaust?
Yep.
That needs to go away. How you feeling about that saddle tank?
That's how I feel right there. I'm gonna sue for mesothelioma.
Boom!
Bye-bye. Okay, so busted out the wood. No, not the original wood. Made a mess.
This wood has been coated with sealant, you know, over the years.
Then that revealed the carriage bolts, which the tops were no longer captured by the wood, so we're able to get underneath, cut out those.
Like a champ.
Saddle tanks are off, so those 2 straps, pull them off and drop the tanks out.
And on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Right to the dumpster. And then there were 2 bolts hiding down in here. Is the square hole in the washer, or is it in the frame? And this little U channel that we were able to finagle our way out. So now, in theory, this thing is free. So we're gonna take it over to the 2-post lift, get this strapped up, lift it up, and drive it out, assuming this thing starts up right now. So
It'll start,
that's
don't
the
you
next
think?
challenge. I hope so. Save some time.
Oh no!
All right, she's dead. This poor starter has had such a hard life. She just gets beat on every time I try to start this thing. I don't know what take one's about. There's only one chance.
Right.
Ready?
Let's do it.
All right, go ahead and drive it out.
Beautiful interior. Who's got the key? Oh, there it is.
Please, God, start.
Please start. Please start. Ooh, come on, baby. All right.
All right, just ever so slightly.
All clear?
Yep. Race mod.
I was gonna say she's a racer now. Oh shit, not good.
Pump, pump, Yeah, shoulders back, Jay. High and tight.
That's badass.
Chassis, engine, suspension, parting is a sweet sorrow. Not. We were never here. Worst case, we could put on like an actual jack and then move it to like a more permanent location and just put up pole jacks or more jack stands out back once we figure out where it's gonna live for the time being.
All right, bed is off. We discovered that it desperately needs a substructure.
Yep, my suspicion was correct. This thing is wobbly. Go ahead and give it a little dance. Get an idea of how bad this is. So that is what we do not want to happen when we try to lift this thing up in the air with a dump bed.
Right.
So now, onto the cab.
Onto the cab.
Got shit to do, Jay.
Yeah, that's asbestos. It's the bestest asbestos.
Oh.
Whoa, Jesus Christ. It literally ripped right off.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not heavy or anything. Oh,
I got this side, you got that side.
where are we going?
I've got it, let go. You got that side.
Yeah.
Got it. It's as pliable as the day it was new.
Little drawer up. Jesus Christ, that's the longest nipple on it.
Nothing to see here. Boom. Air conditioning.
Let's see what soft hose is not supposed to do. Transmission linkage.
Break loose these nuts.
Got him. I got it.
Just in case. Because they didn't have ARP fasteners back then. Nope. Nothing.
Okay.
Let's take those off and then just move it to the side and yank it down.
You can't get the wheel through the damn hole.
Nope.
Gotta disconnect it at the steering box.
Yeah. Ain't coming out. I feel you working on it.
Yeah, that sucker's on there. Start a fire in here with all this crap that's on it. That looks like a piece of, just one big piece of rubber.
Yeah. It's not even rubber, it's cloth.
You know what? I know exactly what we need.
Just long enough. Oh, just barely. What's up? Got it.
Oh, it'd be great if I had actual top wheel. I'd do this on no side.
What's this? Take a close look here.
Oh, it's yarn enforced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's yarn reinforced rubber.
Don't touch that. Just don't cut random wires. Never know if you're gonna need it again. So for all these can all go.
Status report, gas tank out, seat out, steering's out. What was a carpet at some point, or sound deadening, what you ever want to call it, it came apart in pieces. Went for the dash with the idea that it'll be easier to get everything that's going through the firewall. That was a terrible decision. We found out after, 2 hours of working on this thing that it's welded, spot welded to the cab, which means removing the windshield, which is coming apart in pieces because the gasket around this is so rotted. So cab's staying in.
No, dash is staying in.
Yeah, cab is coming out with the dash intact. We just need to do some fender supports, a couple other pieces of sheet metal around the fenders, cab mounts, probably miscellaneous wires that we don't see at the moment, and then the cab can come off with the dash. So
that's the plan. Yeah, so we break now, pause, get a beer, and then come back in the morning.
That sounds like a plan.
All right.
I need a shower.
That makes two of us. All right.
Okay, day 2, we gotta get this cab off, and already I'm seeing problems. So we got all our little miscellaneous things going through, brakes, wires, but the cab is attached to the inner fender support. Inner fender support's attached to the core support. Core support's the on and on and on and on. So we might have our work cut out for us here.
So should we stop at the top and work our way down?
That, or we can just start detaching at the cab and see what's holding it together.
Bubble gum.
Yeah.
And rust.
We could try to pull the cab and then just test the tensile strength of everything we forgot to remove. That's a good way of doing it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Don't really need a battery anymore, do we? Do we need a battery? We're going solar on this vehicle, aren't we? Wind power. That's what we're gonna use, wind power.
I just found another taper bolt in a rust hole.
Ooh, nice.
Hey Jay, check this out. This is 1965 body panel fitment right here.
Oh wow, look at that.
Shims on the bolts.
Shims. Shim shiminy, shim shiminy, shim shim sheree.
Is it moving or is it gonna snap? Oh, I can hear all the crunching of that. So the fact this is even spinning right now is a little surprising. The the core support for the backside of that bolt is a rust hole, so that just
Oh no.
It's coming off.
Oh, it is.
The bolt's still there. Fender's detached now.
Oh, so we are gonna have to repair that fender then.
Yeah, there's a bolt right there.
Okay.
That used to be attached to the backside.
Got it. Okay. All right.
That's why it goes up and in. There's like a stamped core support, but the fender should come off now in theory once I blast these top bolts out.
Like a champ. Oh, crazy how heat really does the trick. What do you suppose was living in there? There we go. It's coming out this time, even if it breaks. Here we go. Told you. Old sheet metal screws. Explains why the lights weren't ever pointing at the ground. Got it?
Yeah, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh my God.
I've never seen it in pints. I've always seen liters. Just looks unnatural.
It does.
Look at all this room for activities now. Always use chrome sockets with an impact.
Ah, come on. Cue the angels. Ah.
There she is. If you're here for a C20, maybe on the restoration, go elsewhere. It's easy to pull stuff apart when you don't care about the hardware or the parts that you're pulling because you know they're not going to get reused. Case in point, this guy. That bracket right here was that was the last piece that was holding it on. Sorry, C20 fans.
You're not joking.
So we could have remove the front fascia, take the 2 bolts off and save that bracket, or we could do what I did accidentally, wink wink, and then just bust right through it. Because I thought that was seized at that joint like every other seam on here. Mm-hmm. So it's coming off either way. Sean won't be able to reuse these because we're putting the hinges up here. I mean, he could use it for reference because you got the 2 mounting bolts up here, but I don't see any use out of these once we pull it. So we break it or we save it. Both ways, it's ending up in the dumpster.
Break it.
Either way.
Break it. Yep, do it. Look at our alternator wire was hanging on my thread anyway. Dude, got a trophy truck now. Look at this.
Full travel.
Ryan Kibbe, eat your heart out.
We've got the fenders, the inner fenders / hinge support off with the front fascia still attached.
Now you pronounce it fascia. I say fascia.
Fascia.
Okay.
Potato. So yeah, now we're moving on to the rest of the attachments on the firewall. So here I'm removing the brake booster and master cylinder. We already got the hard line going through the cab, and then it's just going to be a lot of miscellaneous wires and some other attachment points we might have missed. Like looks like some vacuum hoses and other little things. So we're getting there. We're getting close, and then the big one is going to be the actual cab mounts and how seized those are. Hopefully none of those get stripped or rounded because that will add a couple hours to our time, but good progress so far.
We're almost through it.
And time.
So Eric, let's talk about this cab mount.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I've never seen something like this. So this front mount is traditional.
Here, grab the camera and show everyone.
Yeah, so this is traditional, bent sheet metal that puts the rubber isolator into compression you've got a really good grab onto the frame rail here. But this rear one, here you got a better view,
Yep.
is actually really strange. I've never seen anything like it. So
it mounts to the cab here, right?
Yeah, so it's going up above the frame rail, but the isolator is being put into shear, and you can see where it's like starting to go. So it's just strange. You've got the, this really beefy, kind of organically bent piece. I'm not sure the attachment to this rubber. I don't know if there's something inside of it, but it's using the shear. It's putting the rubber into shear, and you can see how it wants to rip. I'm surprised it's lasted this long. I don't know if it's. I guess it is captured a bit down here in the frame side mount, but even then, it's just strange. I've never seen anything like it. And if we go over to the Roadster Shop version, let me take the camera. So you can see on the Roadster Shop version, they use both the traditional style. So we've got the mount here for the front of the cab, mount here for the rear, and you can see how it's above the frame rail. So we're going to be putting both of our cab mounts into compression for the rubber isolators, which is what you want. So I thought that was interesting from 1965 GM.
Huh.
Okay, that one's good. You want to try the other side?
What in the world?
Is it just spinning?
Yep. See it spin?
Yeah, it's spinning the gun. Do you want me to hit it?
Yeah, hit it.
We're off.
That's it.
All right.
We'll go this guy first. This is going to fall on my head. Here we go. Oh my gosh.
It's spun,
Look how
right?
many washers they have. You see that? All right, that's free. Nothing to see here. Please move away. Please move on. All right, status update.
Cab is free. In theory, the 4 mounts are off. Everything on the firewall has been removed, cut, pulled, combination of the 3. So now we need to figure out how to support this guy without destroying the drip rails or the headliner or the pinch seam at the bottom. So once we figure out a combination of 2x4s and moving blankets, we'll be able to get this thing over to the 2-post, lift it up, roll out the old frame from underneath, and we'll have a loose cab.
We have no steering wheel, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna need to get some go jacks. And
Well, I suppose we could just turn it like this, right? Can't we just... No, I guess not.
want to give it another shot? All right, almost there, home stretch, but easier said than done.
Like always.
Back to it.
Test fit there. Okay.
Pretty centered up on your rail?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, let's see if this starts to move before we get too high up.
Oh, hold on. We've got this linkage right here to the gas pedal. This guy right here.
Okay.
They're hard to push because it's flat.
Ready?
Yep.
Go forward. That's good. Let's get the cradle out, or at least up to. Can you pop it inside and I'll lay it up on my door?
Go anywhere now.
Nope. It's pretty good shape.
Yeah, we should save it if we can.
Okay. Pretty decent sized bolts, so let's blast all those.
Yeah, I just spun that carriage bolt in there.
I think the impact is a bit much for these, that's probably why. This one's going.
There it is. Oh, geez, sorry.
need like a beer or 6.
Is this your quarter?
Yeah.
All right, Eric, we did it. Status report.
We made it. 2:45 Sunday. Made great time. I was expecting to be here till sunset. Cab's free on the table. That mess of an engine's out. But next up is Roadster Shop chassis. So we're taking the cab and popping it on the chassis over there.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can get the engine and the cab together because we're going to have some fitment issues in here, some clearance that we're going to have to look at, and Sean at Empire Fabrication is going to have to build around. So that'll be a challenge that, are we looking forward to it? Not so much.
Well, out of our hands. What are we doing with this guy? We got to get it out of here.
So the chassis is going to Kevin Aguilar at Fuelish Media. He's got a C10. He wants this for it. And the engine, don't know. Should we give it away? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, thanks for watching. High five.
This series is happening in real time, so like and subscribe so you don't miss the transformation of our '66 Chevy into a blown beast.